looking at you like you've got problems. Acting up here don't really mean shit to me unless you're gonna fight me here now.
I don't think that Jake would have enough time, seeing as he's already undersized. He's not a real heavyweight, and this is Anthony Joshua we're talking about.
Take a punch, really. If he takes a big punch from Jake Paul, if he gets hurt in any way by Jake Paul, if he doesn't absolutely ice Jake Paul within a few rounds of this 8-round scheduled bout, well then it really affects his credibility.
Tensions exploded during the press conference when Anthony Joshua stepped up to Jake Paul after feeling disrespected. The heavyweight star didn't hold back, openly showing his irritation at Paul's comments and overall attitude, turning the moment into a heated confrontation. That fiery press conference was just the start of the larger conversation surrounding a potential Joshua-Paul showdown. Analysts immediately began breaking down the risks attached to the matchup. Legendary coach Barry McGuigan, in particular, didn't mince words. He pointed out that even seasoned fighters would feel real danger stepping in with someone like Paul. With decades of experience around big punching elites, McGuigan reminded everyone that a single clean shot can flip a fight on its head, emphasizing how unpredictable this matchup could truly become.
Some people are saying, AJ's grabbing the bag. There's nothing wrong with that, because anybody else, if they got offered that kind of money, they would do it. And some people are suggesting he might damage his legacy. Where do you sit with the decision of him taking that fight? And it's a professional 8-round fight as well.
Yes, it's a highly dangerous fight for Jake Paul. I don't know what he's doing, unless they have done some sort of caveat or some sort of agreement that he says he's going to go easy on him, or he's not going to go flat out. But I've been tossing this up and down in my mind and trying to figure how in under God, when he had agreed to fight someone like Tank Davis, who is several divisions below him. That's more like what Jake Paul does, and then he goes from there to fighting Anthony Joshua. I mean, just look at what happened to Francis Ngannou, who's a big, athletic, tough guy and had gone 12 rounds with Tyson Fury and given him a real ding-dong. And then he gets absolutely obliterated in a round and a half against Joshua. That shows you, despite the fact that he's been knocked out since by Daniel Dubois, who could knock out anybody, by the way, in any weight division or in any era of the heavyweight division. He's such a powerful guy, he could knock anybody out if he hits them properly. But it just seems utter madness. And
Wade, host of the Wade Concept, revealed what he calls Jake Paul's secret preparation tactic for facing Joshua. According to him, Paul has been sparring with multiple heavyweight partners designed to match Joshua's size, reach, and ring experience. These sessions give Paul a chance to absorb true heavyweight power while improving his timing and developing strategies that mimic what he'll face on fight night. By constantly training with fighters who resemble Joshua, Paul is sharpening himself for a very specific and challenging opponent.
For an Anthony Joshua fight, if you're Jake Paul, who hasn't fought someone in the top, realistically, the top 50, I know Tommy Fury is ranked in the top 50, but anyone that is a top 50 fighter, even in your weight class, let alone a top 10, top 5 heavyweight in Anthony Joshua, who was a 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. Can you get prepared for a guy like that if you brought in, let's just say, a deity, freaking Zeus, Hercules, whoever, to prepare you? Could you do it? I don't think that Jake would have enough time, seeing as he's already undersized. He's not a real heavyweight, and this is Anthony fucking Joshua we're talking about. But I will say there were rumors going around that Jake was not taking this fight as seriously as he needed to. That Jake was dilly-dallying, flying to go see F1 in Miami after his press conference, and then going to see his girl all the way in the Netherlands if she's trying to qualify for, I think, the Olympics or something else. There was this post from his girlfriend. I don't know if, again, this was in the Netherlands or where it was at, or maybe this is an old picture, but Jake flying around the world when he has a fight in about 4 weeks is probably not the greatest look, and it doesn't seem to make it look like he's taking it as serious as he needs to, locked away in the gyms of Puerto Rico. Now, again, that could have been a different picture. That could have been something else, but that's pretty shocking to see. With that being said, I want to push back on that because I do think Jake is taking this as seriously as he absolutely needs to, because this is not only the toughest fight of his career, it's the most dangerous to the longevity of his career, to his health and well-being. And so to do something like that, you need to bring in the best help possible to get ready. We already heard that Jake Paul was preparing it for Anthony Joshua by sparring the guy that Anthony Joshua was about to fight in Cassius Chaney. This gentleman right here, who was 24-3 from B-More, aka the DMV, and apparently is a top 100 heavyweight, even though it doesn't say he's actually a top 100 heavyweight. But that was what he was being marketed as by Ed.
Former pro boxer and analyst Spencer Oliver approaches the Joshua-Paul clash from another angle. Speaking on an expert panel, he argues that this fight carries meaning far beyond competition. He compares the moment to the era of Muhammad Ali, who frequently took unconventional matchups that drew mainstream attention and expanded boxing's reach. Oliver believes that if Joshua signs on, he enters a similar moment, where the spectacle blends with sport. According to Oliver, this matchup could bring a surge of new viewers into boxing, especially those who follow Paul online but rarely watch heavyweight bouts. It also tests Joshua in an unusual environment that requires discipline beyond ordinary fight preparation. Oliver explains that high-profile crossover fights can shift the sport culturally, bridging boxing's traditional fanbase with a younger, digitally connected audience. Just as Ali's bold matchups created global buzz, Joshua's involvement here could open fresh revenue streams, attract new sponsors, and push boxing deeper into mainstream culture. In short, the cultural impact might rival the importance of the fight itself.
Anthony Joshua goes in, pops him a few times in the face, walks out of 150 million quid. No one will remember the fact he fought Jake Paul. They'll remember the fact he knocked Klitschko out in Wembley in 2017.
Totally agree with that.
So I'm kind of, whilst I don't like it, and I don't like the way that Jake Paul gravitates to these brilliant athletes and like a moth sucks the life out of them because he gets a benefit of association, because I think they deserve all the association. But he is a clever and there was opportunity there, wasn't there?
Listen, commercially, of course it works because it'll be huge and there'll be a load of money on the table. For Anthony Joshua, it's like sort of, you know, he's going to get rewarded very well with no risk, minimal risk, no risk at all. He's going to go in there and he may then put all this stuff to bed with Jake Paul and calling out all these different champions, etc., etc. So, of course it works. And when you're talking about, you know, the credibility that Joshua's going to get, he's not going to get none now, but are people going to remember that? Of course they're not. Like, when he goes on to do what he does, didn't Muhammad Ali have some sort of strange fight in the middle of his career? Didn't he box? Yeah, he did. He boxed some non-boxing guy and whatnot. Like, people don't remember that. That's what I'm saying. Look, us as boxers, we don't remember stuff like that.
It was replicated in Rocky. So, he did a version of Fighting Thunderlips, didn't he? So we all know.
Veteran boxing journalist Gareth Davies, however, raises major concerns about the matchup's safety. He stresses the massive weight and experience gap, warning that this fight is pushing the boundaries of what should be allowed. Davies notes that if Joshua lands a clean, heavy shot early, the consequences could be serious. While the idea of a social media star challenging a heavyweight champion draws curiosity, he believes the physical risks are too big to ignore. He urges regulators and promoters to carefully assess safety measures, because one misjudgment in a fight like this could lead to severe outcomes for both men.
So, as I am with you, there is a danger in this fight. The odds are, Joshua's 1-12, obviously. Jake Paul is 6-1, yeah, to win this fight in a two-horse race in which this is a guy who lost to Tyson Fury's brother, in an 8-round fight, who, for me, I wrote that it would damage his legacy a week ago. It will damage his legacy for several reasons. If the Deontay Wilder fight never emerges, which it looks like it isn't, I've been calling for that fight for ages. If those two got in a ring together, it's still a massive fight. It's a dangerous fight to sanction, in my view. It sets the wrong precedent. It is 10-ounce gloves, it is a boxing match, it's not an exhibition. This isn't a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. This is one of the most dangerous finishers in the world, who is probably 5 levels above Jake Paul and a weight division above him. I think it's irresponsible to let those two in a ring together in a proper boxing match. That's my view. it doesn't damage his bank balance. But if he earns $70 million for this, are we really...
Boxing analysts Angelo and Josh take a more technical approach. Breaking down both fighters' skill sets, they conclude that although Jake Paul has courage and growing ability, he simply isn't close to the level of elite heavyweights like Joshua or Deontay Wilder. Those fighters belong to a rare tier where timing, precision, and devastating power can end a fight instantly. Angelo and Josh highlight that these attributes come from years of elite training and natural advantages that cannot be replicated by smaller or less experienced fighters. Paul's confidence is admirable, they say, but confidence alone can't replace the instincts and discipline of true heavyweight champions.
I just don't think that he could compete at the highest level, and I don't think he'd beat the top 5, top 6 guys. But that in that weight class is where he'd be at, like say 180, 188 or 189, somewhere around there is where he'd probably compete. There's not a lot of talent there though, so he might be pretty good in those weight classes. Him competing in the heavyweight division against like Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua or anybody else, no, he gets annihilated. I'm very surprised he signed this fight.
I was shocked he signed this fight. I texted my buddy Bo, because Bo follows boxing really well, and I texted him. I was like, dude, we might see a death. And he said the same thing. He's like, I cannot believe he agreed to that fight. But the numbers, the numbers that are, nobody knows the true payouts. They're saying it's around $200 million that they're splitting evenly. So they're getting about $100 million each. He said that it was $267 million. So I don't know who you believe or don't believe, or it could be they're splitting 200 and the 67 delta, they had to pay DAZN because Anthony Joshua has a contract with DAZN, and this fight's going to be on Netflix. DAZN.
It's DAZN.
So they, which makes, how the hell?
Please stop saying DAZN, okay? That's like Saint Benoit, okay?
Where's the O in DAZN?
It's DAZN.
Well, there's no O or no E at the end.
It's DAZN.
But so they had to buy. They basically had to buy Anthony Joshua his permission to do this fight.
Analyst Henry points out that the danger isn't only on Paul's side. While many discussions focus on the threat to Jake, Henry emphasizes that Joshua also has something to lose. Even a minor slip-up, miscalculation, or moment of complacency could give Paul an opening, and anything less than a dominant, flawless performance could harm Joshua's reputation. For a fighter of Joshua's stature, the expectations are sky-high. That pressure means both men enter the ring with serious stakes tied to legacy, public perception, and long-term credibility.
For Joshua is because even if Joshua wins this fight, it has to be perfect. There cannot be a moment of hesitation from Anthony Joshua. He can't look mentally shot. He can't take a punch, really. If he takes a big punch from Jake Paul, if he gets hurt in any way by Jake Paul, if he doesn't absolutely ice Jake Paul within a few rounds of this 8-round scheduled bout, well then it really affects his credibility. All the things that have ever been said about him, he's a hype job, he's been coddled. He didn't really want to fight Deontay Wilder when they were both in their prime. He's just a big bodybuilder, as Tyson Fury loves to put it. Anyone who's ever doubted him will have absolute ability to do so. And so the fact that this is actually a sanctioned fight, it tells me that Anthony Joshua cannot be going in there, or will not go in there and try to carry Jake Paul. Otherwise, it might as well just be an exhibition. If he does go in there and carry Jake Paul, my fear for him is that most people will not be aware that that's what he's doing. Reputationally, it would just cause serious damage. And like I say, I think the only way he comes out of this unscathed, reputationally, is by going in there and securing a clean knockout. Anthony Joshua can't do anything to boost how people view him as a boxer in this fight. All it can do is damage him, unless he's punch perfect. He's fighting someone who realistically has nothing to lose and absolutely everything to gain. And that in itself can be dangerous, it can be risky. And given that Jake Paul has achieved so little, given that Anthony Joshua wants to remain relevant and credible, so it seems, because he has a couple of potentially big fights left, especially against Tyson Fury, why is he doing this? He doesn't want to jeopardize that, surely. Well, I can tell you exactly how I think he has rationalized this in his mind. The first thing is that he's going to get paid an absolute shed load of money. Around 50 million is what we're hearing. I've heard 50 million pounds, 50 million USD, but whatever happens, it's a significant amount of cash. Possibly will be one of his highest ever career paydays, possibly similar to what he'd make for a Tyson Fury fight. But for what? Like 1% of the risk? I don't know how to put it in numerical form.
And that wraps up today's video. Make sure to stick around for what's coming next, there's plenty more on the way.